The Hungarians had a rich history before they got annexed and integrated into the Austrian Empire. Now, the Austrian Empire is quite powerful, and the Hungarians take up a majority of the land and population. Now they gave us some autonomy, but I don't think that's enough. So in this video, I'll strive for Hungarian independence and expansion. As you can see, we're playing the Great War Redux mod, and we're a puppet of Austria. Our industry and army are quite flimsy, as you can see, so we've got some work ahead of us if we want to restore Hungarian glory. Now, Hungary's actually got a focus tree. It's not much, but it'll get the job done for Hungarian greatness. We'll first begin by changing our form of government. We're gonna side with the people, not fully people, more democracy over socialism. So we're gonna go down this side to the independence war. But before we can make it down to the War of Independence, we've got to stabilize our own little minorities, such as the Transylvanians, Slovakians, and Croatians. Now, as a result from completing these three focuses, we don't only gain a few divisions and coring Slovakia, Transylvania, and Croatia, but Croatia, since they control a majority of our territory, give us a nationality debuff. And once we complete that focus, that nationality debuff will cease to exist. Now we can turn back to the left side of our first Hungarian focus tree. Now, our support for democracy is over 50%, meaning we can complete this focus right here, which will officially make us a democratic nation. Another focus later, this focus right here will get rid of a major debuff which doesn't allow us to deploy or modify any divisions, which is absolutely detrimental for our nation as a whole. And as you can see, we're progressively escaping the grasp of the Austrians. And since the War of Independence is coming up, we've got these focuses which will decrease Austrian stability, increase our stability, will also train some divisions. And as you can see, we've actually got our own independent color. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. Now the Austrians are to be feared, for as they are a major power, meaning they've got a pretty sizable army. So we're going to have to train some more divisions. Some focuses will give us some support and infantry equipment, and some buffs to fight against the Austrians. As you can see, we've deployed our divisions. But now, it's time for the war for Hungarian independence. The Hungarian people stand defiant against the evilness of the monarchs of the Austrian Empire. The Hungarian People's Republic is now officially at war against the Austrian Empire. Can we prevail? Will the Hungarian people be able to stand defiant and firm and strong against the evilness of the Austrians? It's the only way to find out. Now, we did gain a whopping 31 militia divisions, which is quite massive and helpful for the Hungarian state. We would first set up a defensive line behind a river, and we would pray that the Austrians would not be able to breach our defenses. And it worked. We were even able to push back the Austrians back a few times. But will the Austrians regroup their army and organize an offense against our defenses? Let's find out. Now, luckily for us, West Ukraine did rise up, meaning we had an opportunity to encircle a majority of the Austrian army in eastern Slovakia, which will soon be integrated into the mighty Hungarian Empire. We encircled some Austrian divisions and fully overrun them, but we need more if we want to defeat the Austrians and recapture our rightful territory. Now my plan was to encircle this little point of the Austrian Empire's army sticking out into western Ukraine, or soon to be the Hungarian Empire. So I would plan decisively to encircle the majority of the divisions. However, it will not be so easy, for as they did have a strong defense, and they did foresee my future attacks to encircle the divisions, surprisingly. Everything was going well. However, of course, the Slovakians had to revolt and join the Austrian side, meaning we had a bit of disorganization. After countless days of fighting, we were able to encircle the majority of Austrian divisions, which would be absolutely detrimental for their morale. So I would launch some more offensives, mainly targeted against the Slovakians. Now the Transylvanians did rise up against us, however they only had a mere one division to defend the entirety of the nation. So they crumbled pretty easily. Our north upfront saw many victories. We broke through some Austrian defences, encircling some Slovakian and Austrian divisions. But our offences up north would not stop there. We'd also launch some offences back to reconquer our stolen territory from the Austrians that we gave up to defend our homeland. However, it would seem that the Austrian defences were absolutely futile. We'd launch a full-scale invasion, pushing the Austrians back on all sides. We'd also make some slithers to encircle some divisions in Slovakia. We also fully utilized the opportunity that was given to us because the Austrian army was disorganized and not prepared at all. We captured Vienna and would continue to advance into key victory points. Whereas we got a decision, meaning the Austrians would surrender and we got a Hungarian victory. But that wasn't enough. I wanted a total Hungarian victory. So I advanced, capturing key victory points before we had to click the decision. So that means Austria has capitulated, and the people of Hungary emerge victorious. Well, the aftermath and the peace conference didn't go according to plan. We annexed Bosnia, Austria, and a little territory in the Czech Republic. However, Croatia, the Czech Republic, Western Ukraine remained independent. Our focus didn't change, and the weirdest thing about this is the United States own this little Ukrainian state. This is obviously a bug, but we're gonna have to deal with it because I don't have the state transfer tool mod equipped. Well, the Great War has just broken out. However, since there's no Austria-Hungary to support the German Empire, I think they're pretty cooked. But our days of expansion aren't over yet. For us, we're gonna justify a war goal and reconquer our legitimate Hungarian state from Croatia. However, I've made the bold decision to join the German Empire's faction. Hopefully, we can do better as an ally. As you can see in our timeline, the Austrian-Hungary's let the Germans down, and they crumbled into many states. However, we're not going to do that. The Hungarian People's Republic will emerge victorious in the Great War. We'll hold the Germans out by first advancing into the Eastern Front and fight the Russian Empire. Now, once I joined the war, I underestimated the Russian defenses, whereas I thought that the Hungarian army could just blitz over the divisions, encircling many of the Russian divisions, killing many of the Russian army, and capture Moscow and other major cities, leading to the capitulation. However, it wasn't that simple, and the Russians put up a better fight than I expected. Now, the war goal for Croatia has been completed, and luckily for us, they haven't got any divisions at all, so I could just march into the cities like Zagreb, leading to the haste capitulation of the Croatian state. Now, unfortunately for us, since we capitulated Croatia, that opened up a front in the Adriatic Sea, meaning the British Navy could do some naval invasions as the British normally do. However, the puny naval invasions were a mere inconvenience for the Hungarian army as we hastily put them down. Now we can fully focus on the Russian front. Now, we did make some major advancements into Ukrainian Polish territory, meaning the Russian defenses would soon to be non-existent, and the Hungarian army can overrun and capture Moscow, Petrograd, and Volgograd. Now, my game did crash a few times, but no biggie. We would continue our advancements into Russian territory, pulling off countless encirclements, absolutely crippling the Russian nation as a whole. Now, as you can see, there are countless gaps in the Russian front lines, meaning we can maneuver around them, encircling more Russian divisions to fall into Hungarian hands. Now, it looked like that our forces would primarily focus on invading Ukraine, or southern Russia as a whole actually, whereas they had many gaps in their front lines, so that was a glorious spot for countless encirclements. Nem érne egy avadolmánt minden portékája. Mi is vitézkedünk, azért jó kuruc vitézek, mert ezeknek drágább kincsét én soha nem lőlek. We would make it all the way down to Sevastopol in Crimea, but we will not slow down there. Would continue our relentless attacks encircling countless Russian divisions. Hopefully this will prove to the world that Hungary isn't just a minor nation, it is the strongest nation of them all. And oh my days, there were practically no divisions on the Russian front lines. However, our advances would soon be halted, whereas the Italians will join the Entente. That would open up a major front on our west. So, we would not launch a full-out invasion just yet, because I would soon realize that the Italians were pretty fortified and prepared for this war. Now, we couldn't afford any losses to our territories, So not only launch minor invasions into the Italian front, because the fronts were getting pretty stretched, especially on the eastern front. Luckily for us, we encircled most of the Russian army. Well, it was clear that the Russian Empire was pretty flimsy, but unexpectedly, the Russian Revolution just occurred out of nowhere. So that means we're fighting against the Soviets. But they're basically like the Russian Empire, they've got no divisions, which is absolutely helpful, and they're no longer in the Entente. The Entente is pretty weak, because so does France as well. But we're no longer at war with the Entente, so all forces were diverted to the Russian front. And with the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk signed, that concludes the First World War under a German victory. Well, the aftermath of the First World War establishes some post-war debuffs. Our economy and army are both in shambles, whereas we are demobilizing everything. However, we gained nothing, absolutely nothing from the peace conference. All we've got is a destroyed economy and army. Many mothers have come to the ultimate realizations that their sons have died for nothing at all. It's time for our revenge. We're changing our ideology entirely to proto-fascism, and we're going to begin Hungarian expansion and dominance over the entirety of Europe. We have declared war on all of the remaining Balkan nations, including the Czech Republic. This is going to be a major war for the Hungarians. We're fighting all alone against countless nations. Will we prevail? Hopefully. Well, let's find out. Now, at first glances, the war was going extremely well for us, except on the Montenegrin and Serbian front. Now, we weren't losing, but we also weren't winning. It was going in our favor, but we weren't making any progress. So, we decided to go around the defenses, capitulating Romania and Bulgaria, not to mention the Lusitanians and Czechs, to navigate our way behind their front lines, encircling practically their entire army, leading to the capitulation of Montenegro, Serbia, and countless other nations.
face it go turn a deeper blue. I could not foresee this thing happening to you. If I look hard enough into the setting sun.
Now, with the Greeks, who are our final nation to capitulate, did go pretty well. However, once we eradicated their troops from the mainland of Europe, I realized that we not only have to capture Athens and other cities on the mainland, we also have to invade the island of Crete and other islands in the Aegean Sea for them to capitulate, which is extremely tedious and unnecessary, which means I kind of hated that war against the Greeks. Nonetheless, we have capitulated all of the Balkans, Liechtenstein, so that means Hungary is stronger than ever. Major victory for the Hungarian people. However, we're not going to stop our vengeance and war conquering just yet. Now, the next war is going to be against the newly unified Kingdom of Italy. Let's see if we can actually defeat their front lines. It appears they've got no division in the front line, so I'm expecting this war to be incredibly easy for the Hungarians. Now, this is where I got stuck. We couldn't really push their forces back. They had good division organization. However, a few weeks of bloody fighting, we were able to push and break through the front line. Well, the entirety of Italy has been defeated by none other than the Hungarians. We're going to continue our European rampage by declaring war on Switzerland and regaining our territory that was unexpectedly taken by the United States of America. We would sign a white peace with the United States of America after we conquered that territory, and would also hastily invade Switzerland by retreating and then capturing their main victory points. And just like that, Switzerland and that little territory in western Ukraine have all been assimilated into the great empire of Hungary. Now, for the final war of the video. The war that all the Hungarian population has been dying for. The war against none other than the German Empire and its allies. It's going to be the hardest war of the video yet. However, I believe with the strength of the Hungarian population, the people, we should be able to remain triumphant over the Germans. Well, with that, the war against the German Empire has been a complete and utter Hungarian victory. We also invaded the Netherlands, and they also capitulated to the might of the Hungarians. After around 5 years, the Hungarian people have not only regained their independence, but also defeated countless nations, capturing all of the Balkans, Ukraine, Belarus, the Baltics, Italy, Germany, and the Benelux. So that means the Hungarians have done more than expected from all nations across the world, including of us. It's been a fun playthrough, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and take care, and thank you for watching.